There it is, 2000. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon.
Malkin busts it off. Right in front. Another chance. Backhand score! It's Brian Rust with the goal. Rarefied air to Hall of Fame career. 1,200 points for Evgeny Malkin.
Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation. Touchdown. George Pickens.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio right here in the municipal building. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 21, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and the greater Pittsburgh area. We appreciate you. On Facebook Live, we appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks, Nick. You got me there. Teresa Mariano, thanks for watching. Paul Haley, thanks for watching. Thank you, Nick. Where was I at? Facebook Live. Checked it out. Nick, I saw 7,291 likes when I checked the other day.
Yeah.
So we're getting there, 7,300. I had a pre-show honoring a soccer coach, and there were 30 more people in. And I said, I want you to get me up to 7,300.
Wow.
So I passed out a dozen cards. You know, I'm the king of cards. So we'll see if I get one. So far, no good. And, yeah, Paul Haley watching on FB, Live and SC. You know my mantra is, please subscribe to Pittsburgh Sportsline on YouTube. We appreciate any of you watching us there. I think we hit a high of 237.
248 now.
248.
Since
I
this
missed
weekend,
it. I
yeah.
hadn't looked at the weekend. Thank you, Nick. Wow.
Big time.
We're moving on up.
People like boxing. They do.
Well, we proved that with the Golden Gloves. We're honored and blessed to be announcing all the Golden Glove fights that we had there. Plus at Donnybrook, we got some Irish people there, too. That we got that. And, I got my hair cut. You know, everybody makes a big deal out of it, especially Drew. He's losing his hair. He tells me after I get a haircut, a lady I know from Azazu, she has had to quit. She has some problems with her legs and can no longer work. She used to tell me I needed a facial and stuff. She was real good with making people look better, and we're good friends. She told me she had a photo for me. And Chance, you want to pull this up?
Is that Joe DiMaggio?
Yeah.
Yankee Clipper.
Wow.
She sent me a photo
Yay.
in the envelope. And I got a shout out. Her name is Lulu Scholl.
Wow.
Thank you.
I would love to have that.
$100.
I'll get it signed for you.
Yeah. I'll sign it right now. Here. To Smokin' Jim. I don't know his last
From
name.
Smoking Jim.
Joe.
From your honey.
Yeah.
Joe D.
No, from Maryland, because he doesn't know that Joe was.
Well, we can say Mr. Coffee.
Yeah. Oh, we like it. No, thank you so much. And I'm just, this is just unbelievable.
No,
I got to get a
that's-
frame. I got to get a frame
no
for
doubt.
that.
No doubt.
I read a good book on him, one of the best books on him about 10, 15 years ago, and it told all the stories. I can't say them on air, but people took care of him like you wouldn't believe.
Great athlete. Great athlete.
And a great man out there in the neighborhood, so.
Really?
Oh,
Mr.
I'll
Coffee?
tell you off air.
Mr. Coffee?
The 1941 Major League Most Valuable Player in the season that Ted Williams hit 400, the last person to do it.
Imagine how
1941.
good you got to be.
Well, Pete Rose, I think, did it, didn't he?
Pete Rose is banned from Pittsburgh
You want to bet on
Sportsline,
it?
too. Paul Haley. Paul Haley said, like your Emilio haircut, looking sharp, machine.
You are.
Pete Kasich watching, thank you. And we're going to go to our promos right now.
Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, presents Coliseum Combat Zone Pro and Amateur Fights at the All-American Fieldhouse in Monroeville on Saturday, June 29th. Contact Al Levine if you'd like to participate in these fights or if you'd like to receive spectator tickets. A donation to the National Kidney Foundation will be made at all Coliseum Combat Zone events.
Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. All right, we're back. All right, I hope you like those promos. I appreciate you guys watching it. All right, what's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got to see Levine. Hey, the one thing I can say, If you can lose 11 out of 14, means you can win 11 out of 14. I'm wearing my Pirate gear. Hey, hell, Lavina Talking Machine. All I got to say is Russell Wilson, Roman Wilson, Peyton Wilson, Flip Wilson, Wilson Pickett, Wilson Football, Zach Wilson, Woodrow Wilson, and my favorite Wilson, Marco Rody Wilson. Hell, Lavina Talking Machine. You can't spell win or Wilson without a W. Steelers getting a lot of W's this year because of the Wilsons. Real quick, I'll do the rest of it. And Fiction and Fact with Smoking Jim's
That's
Almanac.
a tease, folks.
You guys will be surprised about the grade I give out this year. I'm going to just go with just the first pick real quick. I call him Foo. Offensive tackle from Washington. I love everything about him, but two things. One, in my draft
How's
report,
that everything?
I got him as a guard. The Pittsburgh Steelers are turning into the Matt Millen Detroit Lions,
Don't
where
say
every year
that.
they draft a wide receiver. Every year they're drafting the left tackle to take Dan Moore's spot. Dan Moore ain't lost a minute's sleep. Yes, he's your starting left tackle. Fu will be your starting left guard in 2025. El Lavina Talking Machine. He can't play right tackle. He can only play on the left side. El Lavina Talking Machine. And lastly, I'll go number 2. I got to give the pick an A, and I'm buying a lot of jerseys. Zach Frazier. I'll go over the rest and give out the grades on Fiction and Facts from Smoking Jim's Almanac. If you can lose 11 out of 14, you can win 11 out of 14. Ain't that right, Chip?
I owe you guys a disclaimer, and I paused on purpose because people think I pick. They think I pick on him. He only wears pirate gear because he's negative, and that hat only cost him $2. He actually picked it up off the sidewalk, and the guy was smoking a cigarette, and he goes, "Give me $2, you can keep it."
You know what? I don't know.
He's not the brightest guy.
He's not the brightest guy, so what he actually did there was a compliment. You're
Thank
right.
you.
They could win 11 out of 14.
Thank you.
You're right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Smoking.
All right.
We double teamed
The
him.
glass
Nick.
is
Way to
half
go.
full. The glass is-
All right, we're done with him. Let him eat in peace. All right, first, Peggy and Nick Rohde. Hi, Al, and everyone enjoying the wonderful show, watching from Rochester, New York. Our biggest fans in Rochester. Chief McElroy's watching, Ann Harder's watching, Diane Rohde's watching, Ralph Williams watching. Ralph, hello, guys. Hello, Ralph. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
It's on my mind.
You two got the pirate team, both of you. Look
Yeah,
at
we
you.
do, because I'm never going to lose faith.
He
Never going to
did.
lose faith. First month of the baseball season is almost in the books. And I feel a lot better about this team coming out of April than I did about last year's team coming out of April.
Weren't we 20-8 or whatever?
Because when they went 20-8 last year, you knew that wasn't sustainable. Okay?
Whoa.
So right now they're hovering around 500, and they're going through some struggles. And the interesting thing, the thing that I thought that the Pirates would struggle the most with, they've struggled with the least. Starting pitching has been adequate. I wouldn't call them anybody a Cy Young candidate.
Yes.
But Jared Jones has been a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. truly.
And it looks like he could be probably your number 2 starter,
Wow.
which would bump Mitch Keller back to my number 3 starter once Paul Skeens gets brought up to the big boys.
I can't
Now that
wait.
being said, there's a lot of talk right now, but like bring up Skeens. He's going to be up next week.
Yes.
I think that there is no reason to rush him right now because the Pirates pitching staff isn't the problem. They're having some problem with the relief pitching.
Yeah.
Aroldis Chapman, what happened to him? Started out the season on fire, and he's hit some rough waters. David Bednar has been like a roller coaster, up and down. He's had days when he's really good, and he's had days when he's not been very good.
Yeah.
So I think these are all problems that are going to get worked out. Where the Pirates' problem is the lack of offensive production. And, at the beginning part of the year, the Pirates were hitting the ball hard. But here's what the thing is about Major League Baseball. These are a bunch of young players for the most part with the exception of your Rowdy Tellez, your Andrew McCutchen. Brian Reynolds, I guess you could call him a grizzled veteran now.
Yeah.
Same with Key Brian Hayes, but they're still early in their careers. Key Brian Hayes and Brian Reynolds are the two most consistent hitters in their lineup. O'Neill Cruz needs to stop reading press releases that saying he can walk on water, because until you actually do, you can't. And you haven't proven that you're a 40-40 guy yet. First, you got to do it before you can be considered it.
Great points,
And
Jim.
I think he's just a bit immature, and he needs some seasoning. Another big part of the problem is the Pirates' philosophy, I think, right now with taking so many pitches. I think what these guys need to do is they need to swing at more balls that are in the strike zone. Instead of sitting there and watching strike one and strike two, now all of a sudden you're gripping the bat tighter, and you're praying that they don't throw something that's just off the edge of the strike zone, and then you swing at a pitch that breaks 5 feet out of the strike zone. So you get one good swing at the at-bat. Instead of trying to get the starting pitcher out of the game in 3 innings, wouldn't it be better if you got more hits from him and knocked him out of the game as opposed to wearing him out of the game? And I think that if they let a lot of these young hitters start swinging the bat a little bit more, start making contact with the ball, the Pirates' offense will take care of itself. Now, that brings me to my last point, which is Henry Davis. And Henry Davis had a great spring training, and spring training certainly isn't the regular season in Major League Baseball. He's doing something that he's never really done before, and he's doing it on the Major League level. He's catching on a regular basis, and I believe it's affecting him, his at-bats. And I think what really should happen is when Yasmani Grandal is ready to come back, they should bring Grandal up. I think they should send Henry Davis down to the minors, let him catch every day, and work on his craft and work on getting
better,
getting his bat back before they bring him back up. Right now, Joey Bart was a great pickup from the Giants. He's been a solid backup catcher. I don't think he's your everyday catcher. I think Grandal would be sufficient to be your starting catcher in platoon. Get Henry Davis the reps that he needs to be able to function at the Major League level. And just because he gets sent down doesn't mean anything. There's the top-rated prospect in baseball, Jackson Holliday. Okay, he played for the Baltimore Orioles. Oh, he was hitting the cover off the ball in spring training, and the Baltimore Orioles got roasted for sending him down to the minors for the first few weeks of the season. They brought him up to the majors, highest-rated prospect in baseball. They sent him back down after 10 games because he wasn't ready. He just simply wasn't ready for the major leagues. That isn't the end of his career.
Yeah, but think about Willie Mays.
Think about this. Mickey Mantle got sent back down to the minors after he was first bred up. Where's he at? In Cooperstown. Okay? So instead of people wasting their energies on firing Shelton, firing Andy Haynes, the hitting coach, firing Charrington, and so forth and so on, this team's going to work its problems out, and it's going to happen over the course of the season. I'm not worried about it. I've got faith in them, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy a good season.
There you go.
Can't get no worse.
All right, Chip. Let's see.
Yes, it can.
Yeah, last 20,
Look at the
30
Houston
years.
Astros.
When
They made the playoffs the last 6 years. They won 9 games.
They won 2 World Series.
He doesn't know
Two.
that.
Right.
They won 2 World Series in the
and
last
they-
5 years.
Ding, ding.
That's a
let's
little
start.
different, isn't it? They can
Yeah.
afford to be bad right now.
With a team that's good enough to win 2 World Series, they've won 9 games.
Well, what was their records before they won the World Series? So proved your point.
51 and something.
Yes.
Correct. Correct.
All right. Thank you, Chip. Thanks, Nick. Smoking, we don't know what you're talking about. Keep eating. Chief McElroy said, don't bring Skeens up if he is only allowed to throw 50 pitches.
Hey, Chief, you know what? To speak to that, I saw Skeen's statistics. He's pitched in 5 games. He's pitched 17 innings. Do the math. That's averaging less than 3.5 innings a game.
Yeah.
Come on, this is the major league pitcher has got to last more than 3.5 innings.
Well, the thing I go back to is Garrett Cole, they brought him up, number 1 pick, after he had 200 innings. 200. and look what he did.
Well-
So if we see Skeens in June, like I said in the beginning of the year, I'm happy with that.
Starting pitching isn't the Pirates' problem right now.
No, but I'm saying with him being supposedly major league ready, we all know that that's opinions. The facts come out when they pitch.
Kenny Pickett was the most NFL-ready starting quarterback in the 2022 draft.
Now, the
And-
difference is that Paul Skeens has pitched in professional baseball and has had no mistakes since he's been a professional. Kenny Pickett, as a collegiate athlete, did struggle at times, so we should have seen some of those coming.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
Great
Oh,
points.
wow.
You heard it.
What a day.
You
What
heard it.
What a day this is.
How'd you
now.
enjoy your coffee this morning?
There we go. All right, let's move on. Thanks, fellas. You can see we get a little bit how Nick says we get a little spicy here. So we got a little spicy today.
A little spicy.
And we're going to go to Nick Callis. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm going to stay a little spicy, but before I do
Whoa,
that,
I'm glad I segued it for you.
I like the word spicy. Before I do that, a couple things. The Bethel Park High School baseball team, we actually we schedule games week to week to broadcast here on BPTV, and we actually ran into a game yesterday where the team had an opportunity to win the section,
Oh,
and they won. So Bethel Park is guaranteed to at least split the section with Trinity, and Bethel Park's playing right now. If Bethel Park wins, it will win the section outright. If not, it'll split. But either way, Bethel Park will have some share of the section, so that's always good to celebrate. And since I was there, it's on my mind. Hence the segment. Also, Chip mentioned I had coffee for the first time this morning, like a full cup. I had tasted coffee before, didn't like it. Adam Crowley on the fan said you should try coffee. It might help you. Definitely gave me more energy, terrible taste, and some not great side effects for me. So that's my if you know you
TMI.
if you know you know. So we'll move on from that.
Hold it, let me
Coffee, though,
interrupt you.
But I heard it had a bunch of healthy effects as well. And I actually want to talk to you
yeah,
about that.
there were some healthy effects.
I
to
had
it.
no clue, and we talked about this before too. I had no clue that hot water was so good for you, and I think that's why Al does well with tea. I didn't realize all the health effects that hot water can give you, because I always drank cold water, try to stay hydrated, try to stay cool in the summer, and I've usually been like a hot person, so I drink cold water to stay cool just for me. But I didn't realize how many positive side effects hot water can give you, and on top of that, coffee apparently gives you some good health benefits as well. As long as you're not drinking 5-6 cups with a bunch of creamer, black coffee with natural caffeine in it.
And there's other different properties to it, like they say. But if you want to have hot water, put lemon in it. Lemon gives you even more of a boost, and it helps clear out your system. So it keeps you healthier. And the green tea, it's not usually hot. It's just warm is what they do it. And it helps the steep. And it has all the great properties that green tea has for your brain, your gut, and your overall health.
So the hot shower I take every day doesn't do anything for me.
No, well, you can drink some of the water, and that'll help
Or how
you.
about, I found this out recently when people take cold showers. That I found interesting as well, because I never did that. I always took hot showers. So either
I've
way,
taken a few cold showers.
water's fascinating. That's what's on my mind. Sure. Okay. and now this. So Chip's like, why are we calling for the firing of certain people? Now, Ben Cherington's in his 5th year of being a general manager. Now I feel like he's constructed a quality team, so I'm gonna push him aside. He's fine. Derek Shelton is a manager that makes a conscious decision to bet Andrew McCutcheon in the cleanup spot, which to me does not make much sense. And then Andy Haynes. So when you really scrutinize Andy Haynes, and somebody on Twitter posted this, and that's why I like social media for the good parts, where we can all share statistics and figure out actually what in the world is going on with our sports teams. Andy Haynes first had a job with the Milwaukee Brewers in 2019. So the strikeout looking rate based on teams that he coached, and the Brewers, I think we can all agree, have been a good team over the last few years. His rank for strikeouts looking by a team: 5th, 8th, 2nd, 3rd, and here in 2024, the Pirates are currently the team with the most called strikeouts looking. So that's not great. Now, there's also a stat that was put out there. The Brewers rank, since Andy Haynes has been removed from the team when he got fired after 2019, they were 9th, 16th, and 16th, which means that they're striking out looking significantly less. And so I bring that up is because, like, what are we doing if we can't hold this coach accountable after being here for, what, this is his fifth season now? You got to hold somebody accountable. Andrew McCutchen should not be batting fourth. I have my gripes with that. And you can talk about, I mean, Reynolds has been as consistent as he's going to be. Hayes is as well. Hayes is making a lot of money. Reynolds is making a lot of money. They're pulling their weight at times, which is fine. Henry Davis is going to struggle. That can be explained away. O'Neal Cruz needing confidence issues. That can kind of be explained away. Everybody else, though, I'm not buying it.
What should they do then?
Fire the coach.
All right, I just wanted you to say it obviously. Get rid of him.
That's my argument here at this point. If he's not getting the job done, part ways. If they are having a consistent approach problem that yields the results that they're striking out a lot, you get rid of the guy who's in charge of the lineup. Now, Chip is going to say now that every individual is different and this team can fix its problems and they're the Pirates, so we should always have eternal optimism, to which I'll counter that and say, every year they give us some sort of hope, and then those hopes kind of fall and slant, and then they struggle. Like, I'm looking right now in the fifth year of a term for a manager and a general manager to start producing more consistent results. Right now, they've got a surprise pitcher in Jared Jones, who is giving this team an opportunity to win baseball games. They've got Paul Skeens, who is a prospect that is anticipated to do well when he comes up, and he's an exciting guy. You don't want to waste his career, right? We're getting to that point. You have other pitchers in the rotation right now who are giving the Pirates opportunity to win games, and if the offense isn't pulling its weight, you are wasting starts by starting pitchers who right now you've invested in their primes. You've given Mitch Keller a contract. You've got Jared Jones, who the league has not quite figured out yet. You've got Paul Skeens, who we don't know what he's going to do. You got Bailey Falter pitching really well. He didn't have a great start yesterday, but he's been pitching well this year. Every win he could give you is a free win because you didn't expect much from him. So that's kind of my point. The offense, you bat well against the Marlins, you bat well against the Nationals, you run into a lucky win against the Orioles to win that series. They haven't won a series, by the way, since that Orioles series.
Wow.
Not good. So, and that was the beginning of April. So my whole point is here, somebody's got to be held accountable. You can hold every individual hitter accountable, but the guy that makes the lineup, putting McCutchen fourth, not great. Put him at leadoff or put him down in the order if you're going to bat him. And the guy that is in charge of helping assist in the approach of every individual hitter who's supposed to be the professional. And Derek Shelton's a hitting background guy as well. So you've got two guys who are supposed to be in charge of assisting players in making an approach that gives them a better chance of success when they go to the plate. That guy's got to be held accountable at this point because, again, you're in year 5 of the Cherington-Shelton era, and Haynes has, I think, been around since that as well, fresh off his 1 year with the Brewers. So that's just, we got to hold people accountable at some point is really what's on my mind with the Pirates. So you've got to hold somebody accountable here. Yeah, I held Matt Canada accountable when the offense was struggling. You're going to hold Andy Haynes accountable when the offense here is struggling. And it's not just the one season. They've consistently struggled when he's been the guy. So he's either making no effect that's good enough to make any change, or he's making a negative effect. Either way, it's not good for the team. That's what's on my mind.
So I'd like to retort a couple of points. I agree. The one thing I disagree with the way Derek Shelton manages is I hate that he relies solely on analytics to make decisions about his daily lineups and who he plays where, when, and why. I am not a big fan of analytics. I think that firing coaches at this point in the season is probably one of the most ridiculous things that I've ever heard of.
Until I
do understand there has to be accountability, but who do you replace them with? Because anybody that's worth their salt is under contract for somebody else. So what do? Go grab Joe Blow from the corner bar stool and bring him down and they say, hey, you want to be the batting coach for my baseball team?
You know what?
Because this is the major leagues. This is not minor league.
That's baseball. A great argument, and that's always been a great argument. Everybody defaults to that, right? Who do you replace the guy with? And my response to that is anybody right now could make a difference. You could get Joe Blow off the street, and he would make the Pirates collapse, and at least you would know that the Pirates are changing.
Throw your hat in the ring.
My hat in the ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit pretty well.
No, you know
I never
what
played in the majors.
Because here's what the thing is.
You know how many people? I'm serious. You know how many people in the world exist? Not just in the network of baseball. I mean, not just in the world, but just in the world networking of Major League Baseball or professional baseball. How many people aspire to be a coach in the majors?
Right, but you've
So
got
many.
You've got to have a track
You don't think that
record
Ben
of
Cherington
success.
could make a phone call and say, "Hey, college coach, hey, minor league coach, we'll increase your pay from what you're making now, but we need a
I
change."
think it's that easy as a delusional thought.
What?
Just saying.
Have you used your? Oh, you might not use phones. You're still in the mail. No, they can make phone calls and texts,
Yes,
and
I
they
think
can reach out to
that
people.
doesn't
I'm
mean
not
that what
saying.
you're saying is correct.
Okay, and even if they can't find somebody out of the organization, they've got assistants, they've got minor league coaches in their own organization that they could promote if they trust those people.
Right,
So
and if they-
my point is, yeah, anybody could make a change right now because what they're doing isn't working. So either replace them with somebody who's going to make them not work even worse, and they're still going to lose games anyway, or maybe take a chance on somebody else and they'll get better.
So you could hope that somebody else will make it better, or you could fix what's broken. I personally would rather
So what's
fix
broken?
what's broken.
How do you fix what's broken with a guy who isn't fixing the problem?
Well, you have to identify what.
Why
the
have a
problem
hitting
is.
coach then? That's a great point. Why have a hitting coach? Get rid of him
You have
and
to
let each
identify
player
what the
just.
problem is to be able to correct it.
Okay.
And I think that's what they're working on, and it isn't going to happen overnight.
Right, but yeah, I'm just saying. Over the last 5 seasons, they've ranked in the. Over the last 3 seasons, they've ranked in the top 3 of most strikeouts
See-
looking by a team.
See, now here's the thing.
That's just-
wait a
now
minute,
that's
wait a
not-
minute,
that's not
wait,
just
wait,
this
wait. I love how somebody can pull up statistics, and you can use statistics to further any point of view you want to make. And you have to look at it at the whole statistical picture of where all the other teams in the major leagues, all the other teams in the successful teams in the major league, where do they rank? Okay, because you're not sharing that information. You're taking, I want to push this narrative.
They
So
strike
I'm
out the
going to
most.
find the statistics
They strike out the
that
most.
back up my narrative.
They've struck
and
out
then
the
you're
most the
gonna
last 3 seasons so far. 2 seasons in full, and they're leading the league in strikeouts this season.
And-
They finished in the top 3 the
in
last 2.
April. The season is 6 months long.
Right, but you're not listening.
It's April. Yes,
But
I am.
Hear what I'm saying, though. 2 full seasons prior, they were a top 3. So, right, they might go from first to
Right.
second by the
Okay,
season's end.
so wait,
That's not helping
the
them win
2 seasons
games.
previously, how many legitimate major league players were playing on the Pirates lineup
Well, Connor
that are
Joe's
no
still
longer
on.
even playing in the major leagues?
This roster is a little bit.
This roster's different than
It's-
last year's and the year before. Yes, it is.
Well, of course it is. Every year is different, but the big majority, Connor Joe's still on the team, Andrew McCutcheon's still on the team, Brian Reynolds,
Right.
Brian
But what
Hayes.
about the guys that aren't even in Major League Baseball that played for them the last 2 years?
But that's a futile argument. So they got
No,
new
it's
players.
not. It's
so
a
they have
legitimate argument.
They've got new players coming in and they're getting the same results. You know what that means? There might be a coaching issue. If you've got new players coming into the team and they're getting the same
It's
results,
never the
there's a
players'
fundamental
fault.
problem.
It's never the player's fault.
Sure it is. But if everybody,
Okay, so then maybe we should fire them.
you're telling me 9 players,
Hold them accountable.
9 players. Well, players get released all the time. 9 players on a team, 9 players in a lineup, and none of them are hitting in the clutch. And they're all collecting to strike out the most looking in baseball. Now, can you fire the whole lineup? Maybe if you're ridiculous.
Well,
but
yeah,
if
but
not,
you want to hold
there-
people accountable.
there's a fundamental issue, and coaches do fundamentals. So that's
Okay.
it. That's why you hold the guy accountable. He's been a not great hitting
right.
coach. He's not
Now,
produced great
Here's
results.
what I get out
That's
of
fine.
this.
Good.
You both make great points. We can't solve it here, so I'm going to agree to disagree with both of you.
Good enough.
That you can work it off out of the studio. But
No, it's-
I like the discussion because nobody's mad at each other.
No, not
You
at
made
all.
great points, so I just wanted to clarify that.
No, there's no
starting to get
animosity
mad.
here.
Yeah, and a good friend of mine, Keith Appenrott, he knew my dad before I knew him. He's watching us from Nashville. He's from Carrick, so he's watching us. Ralph Williams has a thought. Bring Skeens up, send Bednar down to get back. Bernard still had Bednard still had an injury from spring training, and have Skeens start out as a closer. All right, next.
Sounds good.
Paul Haley, well, not really. No. Paul Haley, money makes a difference on selecting a coach. not bobbleheads and fireworks and BS. Chief McElroy said great points by both Chip and Nick. Okay, we agree. I forget what's on my mind, so I got to take a deep breath. You guys made great points. You made me think about it. I didn't interrupt either one of you. Are you proud of me? I'm proud of you. Okay.
No,
thanks.
I thank you. I thought it was a good back and forth.
Yeah,
And
Drew
there's-
isn't watching, but he said I got to stop interrupting. I said sometimes I add some input that they go on with, so I figured I'll just shut up. He's working. I got to pick him up after this.
Seems we
but-
can do that plenty well on our own.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm just giving him a little shout out, but yeah, we do. So we're good. What's on my mind? Didn't we have a draft?
Yeah.
How did that get lost except for Smoking Jim? Folks, his tease is he has a grade. 13 years we've been doing the show, October 11th, 2011. He thinks it's my birthday, but that's our anniversary. I'm getting an anniversary cookie then, and it won't be my birthday. That's June 30th. Just had to clarify that. And the grade he gives, Nick, isn't it always D minus? Chip hasn't
No,
been
he
D
did.
minus?
He
know
did
what?
the average one time.
Okay, I wanted you to correct me. Thank you.
And there was a tease, and I'm not going to mention anything about it, and I'm eagerly anticipating his grade.
Okay. Well, I told you I don't research it like everybody on the panel and most people in Pittsburgh. So I watched the first day of the draft, and I'm listening to all these experts and everything else, and one thing struck me as odd. Kirk Cousins signed a $180 million contract.
Thank you.
Now, there's a quarterback, I found out because I don't research it, called Penix. And they said he'd be a good quarterback. Maybe we could even get him. But, you know, we're not going to do what people tell us. We'll do our own thing. I'll get to that in a minute. So now, what's this? The Atlanta Falcons, didn't they hire Cousins?
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to think. I watch all this draft. There's this quarterback, and then they draft 6 quarterbacks out of the first 12 picks. And Penix goes where Kirk Cousins signed a $180 million contract, and he's coming off an Achilles injury. And another guy, Crybaby Rogers, he had a fake Achilles injury, and he's coming back. We don't know how he's going to do, so there's rumors. So now they got Penix, and I heard the agent said, why'd you sign my guy to a $180 million contract and draft Penix? You should have told me.
$90 million of it's guaranteed.
Right. No, so that's a lot of money. And this Penix, what if he starts because Cousins isn't able to? And I'm thinking that's a brilliant move on the Falcons
It
because
could
they
be.
got the money.
Everybody has given them a D or an F grade on their draft because of that pick. But say Kirk Cousins doesn't work out.
That's my
then,
point.
Then the quarterback draft class next year is nothing. It's almost like Kenny Pickett being drafted 2 years ago.
That draft was the worst draft for quarterbacks in 20 years.
You know,
so
so-
if we duplicate that next year,
So you know what?
Good luck.
So and Kirk Cousins has been injured more than once. He gets injured.
Well, isn't he
you've
30?
You've got a starting
Wait,
quarterback.
is
Why
it-
invest $160 million in him then?
yeah, but isn't he
That's the
30?
big-
90 is guaranteed.
Isn't he 38 years old?
He's in his 30s.
Yeah,
made,
I think he's
made
like
$450 million.
Even $90 million in the NFL. Why do that then?
Because they got the money.
Yeah, but then
Nick.
When you're a billionaire, 90 million is like
here's
nothing.
the thing: they could either look like the biggest chumps or the geniuses, depending on how the dominoes fall. We don't know what's going to happen.
how do you think the dominoes are going to fall?
I think probably Penix will be the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons.
There you go.
By when?
After next year,
Okay.
2026.
All right.
All right, you two got that. My final point on it, since we all like to cover a couple different things. Go Steelers with a good draft, and goodbye Dan Moore, because Open Door Moore can block for somebody else.
Well,
All right.
They Dan Moore's only signed through this season, so they've already got his replacement on the roster.
Chip, I couldn't agree with you more. Oh, I mean Open Door Moore.
Look how sad Smoking is. Wow.
Yeah, but he got Frazier's jersey. How did we get the highlight of the draft in the Levine house? was Drew and I saw Zach Frazier,
Yes,
center for the Steelers.
and he spelled it right.
All right, we're going to go to Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. 10 seconds, folks.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Now I got to go back to Fu, Troy Fu. Listen, first of all, again, I had the guy at guard in my evaluation, number one. Number two, he's a left tackle. He can't play on the right side, whether it's guard or tackle. It's not easy. 90% of all NFL players, even some of them in the Hall of Fame, couldn't flip-flop sides. They wasn't comfortable.
Where do you get your stats from?
How in the world
He'll never answer.
you played offensive line, Al Levine,
Yeah.
the talking machine. You can't have two rookies on your offensive line and a second year, man. They won't even know how to make line calls.
Oh, can I answer? Here's how you do it. The one will block guys because he'll get in front of them, unlike Open Door Moore.
Okay.
Carry on.
And I wish I could bet all you guys dinner because I'd be at Hyde Park easy. Listen, first of all,
You ever been there?
Dan Moore's not losing any sleep because they drafted another tackle. Don't forget, the greatest tackle they've ever drafted in their history, left tackle Broderick Jones, is on the right side, as I predicted. He didn't beat out Moore. So you think Fu going to beat out Moore?
Hold it. You know Tomlin, and you know he plays favorites. He
know.
likes Dan Moore because
And so
he tries
do I.
hard.
And so do I.
Yeah, but he's a hard worker
He's
like
one
you.
of the top 5 left tackles.
He's
in
a
football.
hard worker like you, and we don't know what work you do.
We got Zach Frazier, that was a steal. We got Roman Wilson, who be a career number 2. I think he'll be the number 2 this year. National championship guy. Something they don't know, and you can use this on your show. You don't have to give me credit. You don't have to give me credit. But he grew up in Hawaii. You'll never hear this anywhere but here. You don't have to verify it. He grew up in Hawaii. His parents worked for the airlines. He loved competition so much he would fly a plane across the island
By
to
himself.
another school.
By himself.
And go to another school
By himself.
to compete. And they
By
ended up winning the
himself.
state championship for 4 years. He commuted back and forth by airplane.
Who
So
paid
that's
for
how
it?
dedicated he is.
Who paid for it?
I see it on the show last week. I don't know which show because I got a little bit of Antonio Brown, CTESPN. I was on the show. I said I would give up my whole draft like Mike Ditka did to get Peyton Wilson from North Carolina State. It's going to be, this is a white guy. He's the fastest middle linebacker in combine history next to Shazier. Shazier ran a 4.3. He ran a 4.4. Unbelievable. His brother is Bryce Wilson. Used to play for the Pirates, played for Milwaukee.
Atlanta Braves, yep.
This guy right now,
He's on a roll.
it's going to be a race between him and Patrick Queen to see who gets to 100 tackles first.
Did I hear you say he's the greatest something too?
Huh?
Did I hear you say he's the greatest something?
Well, Peyton Wilson
say that again.
is the best middle linebacker
Okay.
the Steelers had
Okay.
since they drafted
I
Jack
just want you-
Lambert.
before I hear your grade, I
he's
just want to hear that
basically
again.
Shazier with eyebrows.
Good move, Nick.
In the fourth
I'm proud
round,
of you.
they took Mason McCormick. I don't know why. I don't know why you
We're
drafted.
going to D.
I don't know why you already drafted a guard with your first round pick, Fu. Now you're drafting another guard. In the 5th round, the Steelers drafted. Oh, they didn't have a 5th round pick, so that's an F. That's 32 players.
We're going to D, baby.
That's 32 players in a very deep draft that you had to pass on because you don't have a pick. In the 6th round, they drafted another bum on the defensive line named Logan Lee. How in the world does Carl Dunbar, the defensive line coach for the Steelers, still have a job? He's drafting bums after bums after bums on the defensive line. Al Levine, the talking machine, if Logan Lee gets into a game, they'll blow him out of Heinz Field all the way into stage A&E.
Acrisure
So
Stadium.
he's bad.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Lastly, 6B,
You're on
they
fire
took
tonight, man.
Ryan Watts. Other than Anthony Dorsett Jr., I've never seen a guy that can't locate a ball deep. I mean, if he was a center fielder, it'd be hitting him off his head all the time. This guy got all the size in the world, 6'3", 210. He can jump out of the gym. He can do everything you want except for intercept passes and cover people. Al Levine, the talking machine. And in the 7th round, they drafted. Oh, they didn't have a 7th round pick. So that's an F, according to my calculator. D draft.
Can you show us your calculator?
I figured it up before.
That kid they drafted from North Carolina State,
I love him.
Luke Kuechly, said he's stronger and faster than I was.
And Luke was great. Luke's a Hall of Famer. We got a steal right there, Elevate. I said last week I would give up my whole draft for him.
He doesn't.
And I tell you what, this
Wait.
is.
That's what I wanted to hear. Wait, you stop right there.
Say it again.
You tell me you can give them a D in the whole draft, and you would give up an entire draft.
I would have gave up my whole draft.
So think about this though, right? Just stay with
Mike
me.
Dicker
with
gave
your
up his whole draft for
No,
Ricky
stay with
Williams
his
as an
thought.
F draft.
Just let me get these calculations here right for a second. You would
Yeah.
give up your whole draft. You would give up whatever 32 times 7 is
Yes.
to get this guy, and
Yes,
the Steelers
exactly.
got
Exactly.
him in one of 32 rounds.
Yes, that was amazing.
That'd be 224.
Amazing. In the 3rd round. And guess why they got him? They got him with the compensatory pick they got for Kenny Pickett.
So you understand what I'm saying?
Kenny
though?
Pickett is the gift that keeps on giving.
Do you understand what I'm saying though?
No, I don't.
224.
So if they got a guy that you would give up your whole draft
My whole
for,
draft.
right?
Yeah, my whole draft.
And how can you possibly hold an F?
Well, Mike Dicker
accountable
gave
to
up
the-
his whole
to the
draft for
Steelers?
Ricky Williams. That's still an F.
So here's my question, because you're really ready to throw out Fs for draft picks that we don't have.
Well, yeah.
But, okay, so
32
so
players.
draft
you passed
drafted.
on.
So you give up a draft pick to get somebody in a trade, like say Justin Fields.
You're making
Okay,
it up.
so which draft pick? What would you rather have, an untried draft pick,
I'd rather
or
you
somebody
not
that
make it up.
started at the NFL level who's now on your roster?
I'd rather you not make it up. If they don't have a 5th round pick, you got to give it an F.
But why would you? Why would
they
you
give up the
You
F?
don't count
Why they-
it.
to trade for an
Here, let me try to add
NFL
something.
caliber player that's been on a
Hey,
roster for
Chip,
3 years.
let me try to add something in. If you multiply 0 times 10, what do you get?
Oh, wait a minute. He's not into new math.
Okay, you
All right. Chance is helping me.
Smoking
I
must
can't
be
see
seeing.
from this.
Smoking must be seeing in the future.
Smoking Jim, you have a 0 pick.
Yeah.
So I don't know too much math, but 32 times 0 is 0.
Yes.
So it's not a grade.
Well, did we draft an? We missed
didn't-
out
no,
on
no.
32 players.
No.
So
Here-
they got to be an F.
You said here.
What
I'm
grade
using,
would you give it?
I'm using your words.
What grade would you give it?
Let
We
me-
had 32
wait,
good
wait,
players
wait,
we could
wait.
have
Just
taken.
calm down. You said we don't have a draft pick. So that means to me
That's Mike Webster in the
no,
5th round.
we don't have a draft pick.
Yes.
That means it's nothing. No,
that means
nothing.
an F.
Wait, follow this, my words. Nothing is there. No draft pick means nothing, not even 0.
What are you talking about?
Here, first pick.
How many 5th round draft picks?
How'd that
A
work?
lot.
How'd that
A
work?
lot.
Here's a question.
How'd that work?
Here's a question.
Tom
I
Brady
have.
was a 6th round pick.
How many 5th round draft picks do not even make opening day rosters?
Well, on my draft at
No,
7th
you're
round,
not
let me just
answering
say
the
this.
question.
I
You're
can
not
just say
answering the
this. I can just say this. In the 7th round draft, all of them should be starters. And I go back to when there used to be 20 rounds. And Bart Starr was a 15th round pick.
Hold
Johnny
it.
Unitas was a 9th
Hold
round
it,
pick.
wait a
5th
second.
round pick is high.
hold it,
A
Chief.
7th
Wait,
round
wait,
pick
Trying
is
to tell
high.
me that marijuana isn't legal in Pennsylvania.
Right, well, he doesn't do drugs.
Hey,
hold it.
when I drafted Antonio Brown with the 3rd pick of the 6th round in 2010, how did that work out?
That is one.
That's every year. Tom Brady was a
Okay,
6th round
so
pick.
there's an
How did that
Antonio-
break out?
There's an Antonio Brown
When
every year.
Hold
Brown
it.
was a white
Wait.
quarterback for San
Wait.
Fran.
Wait.
Purdy,
Hey,
7th
Smokin'.
round pick.
Calm down. Chief has something to tell you.
We were having a
And it's the logic I was using.
In the last 20
Look,
years,
Chip,
how
one-
many 7th
one
round
second,
picks started?
Chip.
All of mine.
No,
all
one-
of mine.
1 second, Chip.
All of my picks.
We only have 10 minutes.
Chief has this. Like I was saying, if you don't have a pick, it's not a grade. It's incomplete. and he's the king.
Them
of-
nuns used to spank him too
he's-
much at Central
he's-
Catholic.
He's in.
He
He went the gateway. He knows what incomplete is.
I got a question.
Smoking Jim.
Now, okay, last question for me, I guess.
Okay.
Do you assess a grade for the value they got in exchange for that pick?
Peyton Wilson is Rozier with eyebrows.
If the Steelers traded a 5th round for Patrick Mahomes, would you still give that an F?
Pardon me?
Of course he would.
If the Steelers traded a 5th rounder for Patrick Mahomes, would you still give them an F?
Was Patrick Mahomes in this draft, or was he already?
No, he's
established
traded.
No, that's
veteran
that's the
player?
point.
You mean right now?
Right now.
If the Steelers traded for Patrick Mahomes
A 5th rounder.
and they gave up a 5th rounder next year,
Mm-hmm.
then next year would be an F for the 5th round pick.
See, that's why your logic.
I gotta evaluate on the draft.
No. Here's
And
what.
I've been right on the draft, and
No,
all
no,
these
no.
people been wrong.
No.
When we go back on the draft,
Wait, I got to
when
do
we
this.
go back on the draft,
So-
everybody says, "Wow, you were right. That was
No,
a
I
D.
know
That
why
was a
he's
D.
right.
That was an F."
No, wait, here you go.
running out,
Are you ready?
We're running out of time.
If you're always right, why are you sitting here? Why aren't you on an NFL team?
Well, see, there you go. There you go.
All right, we're
There you
moving
go.
on.
Same reason why you know more baseball than
Smoking
anybody I
Jim.
know, but you're sitting right next to me.
Smoking Jim, you had a.
We
I
just
don't-
we
I
just
don't
hit
say
it
I'm
wrong.
right.
We just
I
hit
don't
it
say
wrong.
I'm always right.
I think you're always right. I'm saying, in my opinion, here, I'm honest. In my opinion, me and Claudia
Order.
talks about it all the time. We're
Order.
like Chip knows his baseball.
I do.
Order on the show. Order on the show. Smoking Jim, this was a great segment. We're going to replay this every year because it doesn't make any sense.
I love you.
I love you too.
It
man.
doesn't make any sense. We
It
got
don't make sense to you white guys.
No, no.
Chance, it makes sense to Chance.
He's
See,
white.
You got to be young.
I think
He's
I,
white.
You got to be
I
young.
think when we
The
go,
young- the
I
youth-
think when we go to black tonight, we ought to just have a group hug.
Okay. Hey, Smoking Jim, when I go, Smoking Jim,
Wow.
I got AC/DC in my car, so
You
I'm gonna,
believe black and gold.
no,
That's
no,
your
wait.
problem.
I'm going to play AC/DC, chancel like this, back in black. He liked it.
I didn't have.
That's a song.
Okay.
Smoking
We're going
doesn't
to
bleed
trivia.
Black and gold. He's wearing black and white.
I'm going back in black, back to black. All right, trivia time. 10 seconds.
All right, everybody, real quick, I'm going to give you somebody's statistics, and I bet you of the four of us here, I would guess who this person is. I'm guessing Alan would too.
You're not
I'm
gonna
going to give out your statistics. He is not in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he should probably be the next. Well,
Old timer.
no. So I'm going
You're not
to
going to
give.
slant the stats, are you?
I'm going to give you the stats.
He's looking at smoking.
Not to fit my narrative, but here you go. His career batting average is .303. He has 2,743 hits, 219 home runs, 1,326 RBIs.
Who'll pick me?
Okay, give me a second. I'm going to go throw out some more things, and I'll
I think I know who it is.
7-time
I got two
All-Star.
picks.
He is a 1-time World Series champion, 3 times Silver Slugger Award winner, National League batting champion in 1982, National League RBI leader in 1982.
Al Oliver.
Yes, you are right.
That's my
I
call.
got it on
He
fire.
should be
Yeah.
the next Pirate inducted into the Hall of Fame.
No
We
way.
we concur.
No way.
And he's a Jim.
Dave Parker.
Jim, you're a God-fearing man. He's a minister.
He didn't snort the right field line.
He's a minister. All right, Chip. Thank you. Nick, VIP Callis time. 10 seconds.
What are we doing? This is real life. Hi, I'm Nick Callis. Welcome to Pittsburgh Sports Line.
All right,
Let's
move
stop.
on.
Let's stop.
Move on. We're not dealing in reality. I can correct you on that.
Draft A minus maybe. I don't know where the minus comes from, but Smokin did put a minus on his, so I'll put a minus on mine. The only thing that I hope to see is that just like with the Pirates, so I want them to change and not stay the same. The Steelers are the same way. Don't want to see the same result. I'd like to see them like absolutely fail and burn, or excel and make it into the playoffs and maybe win. Playoff games, yeah. So, big question here, too. What does win now mean for the Steelers? And this question was brought up to me, and I've been kind of pondering it because I don't know what it means. What does win now mean for the Steelers when you say win now? Are they contending for a Super Bowl, or are they winning now by winning a playoff game? What's the standard for the Steelers?
He said it.
What did he say?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Okay, so they're constructing their team to win a Super Bowl. Do I think they're worthy?
He thinks so.
Do I think they're worthy of a Super Bowl right now? Not at the moment. There's just too many questions at quarterback for me right now. But I hope that they get better, significantly better, or significantly worse. And I feel like this draft helps secure that. I also think Dan Moore Jr. is not going to be on the line. He's actually going to be a swing tackle because while Fatanu is listed as a guard, he actually could excel at tackle as well, and I think that's the Steelers' plans from what I'm hearing, is they're going to put Broderick on one side, Fatanu on the other side, and Moore is going to be a swing tackle, so he will be out the door more here pretty soon.
Yeah! Way to go, Nick. I'm with you. I was following you closely. All right, make it quick.
Make it quick. My thought on win now, obviously, I think the Steelers are better positioned to make a run for a Super Bowl this coming season than they were coming out of the end of last season.
Thank you.
After they walked out of Buffalo Bills Stadium,
All right, we're out of time.
I think the moves they have made, they're a better team today than they were 4 months ago.
No time. Let's hit it. Go.
We're done.
No, it's your turn.
Oh, okay.
No, it's your
On location. On location. On location. We had a great on location with Ray Schaefer Boxing Association. Cherry City Fire Hall was great. We had to deal with, listen to this, 2 biker groups. What do you think when you have 2 biker groups? Is it something
vroom.
positive?
Room, I don't know. Probably not.
Well, not normally. Guess what? These were the greatest guys and ladies that I've met. They even took my key and parked my car in the back so me and Michael could bring the gear in. They made sure we were all right. They got us bottled water, and they were selling only cups. So they said, here, we give this to you. They took care of us, helped us clean up at the end and get stuff out, and they go, where's Smoking Jim? I go, he left. So they knew that. He missed a picture with Leah Carabello. She came over. We're smoking. We need a picture. Great night of fighting, 7 fights. Great boxing that night. We did something we never did before, 2 large screens with the VMix program that Nick and I got. Smoking Jim saw it, Michael saw it, and all the people go, look at that. You're showing the live thing. I know, I only got a few seconds. So nothing else to say on that. Thank you for watching the show. Ann Harder said Smoking Jim went up in flames. He still doesn't understand 0 means nothing. Please stay Joey strong.